Bonjour, and welcome to another sketchbook tour. Okay, so I just finished this watercolor sketchbook, and maybe we can have a flip through. So this is the Canson graduate sketchbook, which I started sometime mid-February. I didn't note down the date, and finished on 25th of May. So this is a watercolor sketchbook. So this sketchbook has a paper which is on one side it has a machine grain kind of texture, and the other side it's a little more flatter or plainer, not as smooth as a hot press. It still has a texture, but it's definitely smoother than this side. So I've tested both sides doing the similar style of work, a similar amount of water, and seen the effects. I started with portraits because that's what my comfort zone is, to test the paper. And so I think it was a reference from Pinterest, if I'm not wrong. So I started with watercolors and then went a little bit over with color pencils, not too much, just to add a bit of depth here and there. This portrait is only watercolors, so is this. There's no color pencils or anything, so I was seeing how much details and depth can I achieve. This portrait is in gouache. So gouache sits quite well on this paper, and especially on this machine grain side of paper. And I thought it came out quite well. This I was working with some Inktense pencils. I think I had just got like Inktense pencils for the first time, and this I did like fully rendered using Inktense pencils, and then I was just doing more sketchy stuff around it. This one didn't turn out as I had envisioned. This is another style that I work with, especially for florals with watercolors, which is doing a little bit of line and wash kind of thing. Here, I think I used the Gansai Tumby pens for this image. I'm trying a bit of landscape paintings. I'm not super good with landscapes, so I was like trying to see what I can do. Here I'm drawing some florals again, but this time more watercolory florals, and I was drawing poppies. I'm not super happy with the background. I think without the background it was looking much better, but that's what you do in a sketchbook. You experiment, find out what works and what doesn't for your taste. Okay. Do you recognize who it is? I gave up halfway. I was trying, I think I'm using Tombow markers. Yeah, these are watercolor pens. Yeah, I think I was using either Tombow or the Faber-Castell Bit ink, but water-based inks, not alcohol, because it didn't see through. And I was drawing Christian Bale from American Psycho. I don't know whether you can recognize him. Like halfway through I gave up. So on this side it's a landscape painting, and this I did once first with a mixed media kind of effort, and then the next time I just used watercolor. I'm trying to do more florals here. These are with markers. I do have a shots on this one too. Here again are some watercolor florals which I did, and a bamboo kind of forest scene. This one I'm not super happy on. It like didn't turn out as I wanted it to. But then I have a lot of problem with drawing the same thing over and over again. Like maybe that's not my thing. Here I was doing some warm-up sketching exercise with newer colors. It turned out quite well. I've used it dry first, then wet it, then used again the dry layer to add some more details. And it's so colorful, and it's quite fun as a warm-up technique because you're using both the drawing abilities as well as mixing with water and painting a bit, so it's quite nice to warm up with. And this is the final piece which I did. Here I was trying out using monochrome kind of paintings. Here I started doing that with for a balloon. Like I wanted to draw shiny objects. That with a balloon, and then it became a hot mess, I think. This one I really love. This like a I saw this colorful grapes image on Pinterest, and I thought I should draw this, and I do have a full video on this. Again, it's like the same thing. You have to draw like multiple times, and I don't have the patience to do that, like doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I was trying something easy, and I was surprised that it worked. Of course, it's not like accurate to the image, but it gives you the essence of it, and that's all I wanted. This again, I'm trying some, I think I drew this with fountain pen and used some markers or some highlighters, in fact, to add in the colors. Here I was trying out some Ecoline inks as the base and then drawing over it. So it's kind of negative painting. Like here I put a pink background, and then I was trying to go with the purple or some kind of colors to bring out the bamboos or the trees. Here I'd never finished it. I was trying to draw a lily or lotus or whatever it is. This background was again pink, and then I used Neo Color 2s over it to again bring from the background to the foreground. So drawing all the leaves, and these were hibiscus, I think, and working it backwards to see how it is. And this one was a lighter yellow-green background, and over this I did this koi pond, and I thought this turned out pretty nice. I would like to do a bigger painting of this at some time, so we'll see. I don't know what I was doing. I really like this. This is one of my go-to kind of painting themes that I want to develop more and more, which is like a girl in a very murky lily pond and or a lotus pond. And I thought this turned out quite well, though during the painting I kind of lost her actual face. Drawing some portraits from imagination. So I go back and forth between following Pinterest or other reference photos and drawing portraits, and then working on imagination, and that does help improve the imagination too, because then your proportions are more normal and recognizable as human form. This is a portrait again. This is with, I think I sketched it with watercolor pencils, and then I went over it with watercolors. And I really like the highlight effect it got finally. Like I was almost, I'd given up on this and moved on to other things. But then I came back and kind of finished it. So I do like how it turned out in the end, especially the glow of the skin, which I quite like. This is again a sunflower painting. I struggle with this kind of stuff where there's a lot of things happening and details and, you know, monotonous, the same things over and over again. So I was trying this. What I liked here is I think put an acrylic wash on the paper, which is like a yellow ochre wash, which gives this nice warmth throughout this painting. And I went, so the wash was with acrylic gouache or just acrylic, I can't remember. And on top I went with water-based gouache, like the normal gouache. So I do like the effect of that yellow ochre, kind of making the whole painting a bit warmer to look at. It has that nice tonality to it, which I think I will explore more, especially for this kind of landscapey scenes. Otherwise they look very flat. This is one of my favorite pages in the sketchbook. I was playing with Neo Colors and the water soluble ones, Neo Color 2s, and I was drawing and mixing with water, and just, of course I was following some references, but I thought really turned out better than I expected, especially this red teapot. This is the mermaid painting. I'd like given up on it, then I tried more with using some material. I don't even know what I used, maybe acrylic gouache or something. I don't know. It was like, of course, let's turn over. This is just regular gouache, and this didn't turn out as well as this one. So I'm missing the perspective in this, and they look very flat on the page. So this gives that 3D-esque effect. This doesn't. Like, even if I put highlights and all, there's something off with the perspective. Maybe it just doesn't look interesting. So here again, this is the warm-up sketch or drawing with Neocolor 2 with both wet and dry. And then I went in here with watercolors. These are some portraits, again back to portraits. And I really like this page. I don't know, it was like just I wanted to draw something without thinking and just relaxing. So it's just putting paint on paper and that's it. So draw a rainbow, made some bees, took references online for the way they were flying and stuff, and that's it. Super cool. This watercolor background and acrylic paint pens. So I think the Artex markers. So I would strongly recommend, if you're wanting to chill and just fill up a page in Sketchbook without too much thought, pick something simple like this, like just a wash and some drawing, which is just gives you a happy feeling. Here again, I was doing that. I was just drawing, painting with watercolor on paper, just relaxing myself, also warming up in the process. I wanted to do one of these things, yeah, like this, something again monochrome, and like make it look like a very shiny object, and I gave up halfway. It wasn't turning out, and then I drew this or painted this with watercolors. There's also another super fun exercise. Just draw balloons like this, super easy. Just draw blobs, bunch of balloons first, dry it completely, use different colors, again go on top over that, and it's super easy and relaxing. And I use some color pencils to just draw the strings. Here I was drawing a, what is this? Jellyfish. I got completely blacked out. Jellyfish here. This cat reference I found on Pinterest was super cool. It didn't turn out as accurate, but quite happy with it. Oh, and the last page, as in last page of painting at least. And no, okay, not last page, but I think I drew this last in the sketchbook. That's why I thought it was the last page. So, and I was drawing some otters. Okay, here they look like dogs, but and I really like this page. It's so sweet and relaxing, and it's super cool. Even looking at the otter references was making me happy. So there you go. And this I drew before, I think. So this portrait was done before. And the rest is all swatches. So this is Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer pencils, I think. Yeah. These are the Derwent Inktense paint pens, which I really like, and I was just swatching them. And these are the Inktense pencils that I had recently got, and I was swatching them. So that's that. Oh, the sketchbook does have an envelope at the back, and I put some swatches and stuff there. And this is the great tool. Oh my god, I'm tearing it off. Great tool to make paper stick while taking a photograph. Like if I'm doing this and they're like rising up, so I'll just put tape here and there. So anyway, that's done. Okay, so hope you like this sketchbook tour, and let me know what you'd like to see next. Thank you, and bye-bye.